All right, welcome to Traveling Young and what might be a second video. Let's see, I'm gonna try to see if we can put together two in each city that we visited. Let's see if that will work out. Here we are in Ilulissat. We flew here yesterday, and a quick note for you if you're flying here. We learned yesterday that the weather is very unpredictable, and what happens to planes is something you cannot anticipate. We spent 5 hours sitting at the airport waiting to eventually, maybe 6 hours, to eventually get here. So my advice is make sure that you don't plan an activity that you paid for on a day that you're flying if it's after you've landed, because it's pretty likely you're not going to make it. Luckily, we had nothing planned, so we had beautiful views from the sky when we finally got up when we got here. But today we're going to go to the Icefjord Centre, which is a bit of a walk up this hill. And you can see, by the way, the city's behind us, and in the back, maybe you can kind of see some icebergs. You can see a ton from our hotel room, which is pretty cool. And yeah, we're going to take you on the adventure today as we go hike around. And then later tonight, we're going to go on a midnight cruise to see the ice fjord in the evening time here in Ilulissat.
Okay, we have made the trek up the hill, and we are actually standing on top of the Icefjord Centre, and you can see behind me super cool ice fjord. I cannot wait to go see it. There's also lots of mosquitoes, so I hope we get away from these in a minute. But this is super cool. This is the furthest north we've ever been. We are actually in the Arctic Circle now. Ilulissat sits a couple degrees north of the edge of the Arctic Circle, so it's super cool. We're gonna go check out this ice fjord and see lots of icebergs and stuff. So let's go. Here we are. This is the ice fjord. If you see me waving my hands, it's because there's 5 million Arctic mosquitoes around, and they're really annoying. But this is really awesome. We had a chance to fly the drone, so hopefully we got some really good footage. Josh said that we did. But it's been really amazing to be here. We saw some whales out in the bay. And and it was super cool to stand up there and just be able to watch them fishing. I think there's maybe some krill out there, and so you could kind of see them going around and then popping up every now and then. If you just watch the birds, you could wait for the whales to come up. So super cool day, really nice hike, and definitely so glad we had the chance to come out and do this.
Here we are on our couch filling in the blanks. from the pieces that we missed when we were there. Like, we didn't talk a lot about the Icefjord Museum.
No, which was fantastic.
Yeah, you saw footage of that, but it was really, really nice.
Yeah, it was small but mighty, and I really loved the film that they had that was about how glaciers get made and the whole process of, I guess, water evaporating and then turning into ice and stuff. And then also the huge ice core that they had. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, it was just a really neat, beautiful building and a nice break, because it's walking there from the town of Ilulissat is like maybe 20, 30 minutes or so. And then it's a nice break before you then start hiking onto the cliffs. And so we actually went, not cliffs, but around there. So we actually went hiking a second time.
We did.
All the footage you saw was from the first time, except I flew my drone twice, and that was intermingled in what you just saw.
Yeah.
But we went a second time, and you could see we actually took a different route. This is us walking the second time.
That was far more, I wouldn't say it was like strenuous, but it was definitely a lot. I mean, you can definitely get some exercise there.
Yeah, the first time we followed that wooden path, as you saw in the video, but the second time we were like walking along like rocks, and we went the wrong direction briefly and had to, but anyway. That
was my fault.
That was good exercise.
Exercise.
But then after the first night, after the hike, we then went on an evening, they said midnight cruise. It was like maybe left at 9:30 at night.
Yeah, I think we got back at like 11:30 or something.
And we were amazing. And we were on this like open boat. We had these like survival outfits on in case we fell in the water. They could they'd rescue us, and and it's just super, super cool. So here I selected slightly intense rock music for this because I felt like we're like on this like speedboat thing, and it's really not intense, but it's different, you know? So
exactly.
Enjoy this high octane music as we tour around the icebergs in the bay and everything in Ilulissat. I'm going to show, as we're talking, some photos because I also took a lot of pictures.
So many pictures.
And it's really hard.
I did too.
Yeah, it's hard on the boat to kind of get good close-up videos of stuff and to really like frame it well because I don't have control over this boat. But I mean, some of these icebergs, it was like, they're like the size of like buildings.
Yeah, it's impossible it's so hard to understand how big they are until you're right next to them. And then you just realize how massive they are.
And part of the thing we learned is basically, even if you're not intentionally going to see whales, as you'll see from some pictures I took, you're going to see whales everywhere. You will see them. And there's this one, it was on your side of the boat. You'll see there was a moment I had in the video of my view of this, but your view was better. Yeah,
my view was amazing. So we had seen, and you can always see the whales coming up, of course, with their blowhole and stuff. And so we had seen one come up. And then I thought it was going to come up more towards the front, but then he came up right next to the boat, and it was just absolutely amazing to have him be so close to us. Yeah. And super cool.
And that was a fin whale.
I think that was a fin whale. Yes. I haven't mastered whale identification yet, but it was either a fin or a humpback.
Yeah, I think that one was a fin.
Yeah, I think that was a fin.
It was, but that was just amazing.
And just to like be able to hear the blowhole and just to see them come up and go back down, it was so cool.
Yeah, the noise they make is like
exactly.
a big rumble kind of thing. Yeah. It's really an insane experience. And I mean, at first I was questioning my decision to be in this boat where we had to put these suits on. But I think that was very cool and unique. I'm glad we got to, it's just the proximity is a little different. You feel like you're more, I mean, you're still on the outside of a normal boat, but it just felt different.
Yeah,
and I'm really
it was
glad,
like you're right there.
Glad we did that.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's such a, and the moments it's calm, despite the music being less calm that I chose, but that's okay. And then just these whales, blah, blah, blah. It was just.
Well, also just like leaning, you could lean over and at like some point somebody had leaned over with a net and picked up some of the glacial ice.
Yeah, I have video of you holding one of the pieces of ice.
But just the fact that you could kind of lean over and kind of touch the water.
Yeah, so that was like a very packed first full day.
Yeah.
And I also want to mention, by the way, flying in is amazing. I forgot to mention this before. Here's some footage of when we actually landed. This is like not sequentially because this is when we flew and landed. And you could see all the icebergs that we saw in the evening from the plane because it goes and earlier you saw I had a shot of a plane flying in. So it's like the flight path is like right over this big area with the Icefjord and all these glaciers. So not glaciers, sorry.
Oh,
icebergs.
yeah, the ice,
and it's just like really, really cool to see from the plane coming and going.
Yeah.
Amazing views. But yeah, that was a very packed first day. After seeing that flying in, I was very excited to get out there. On the second day, it was a long day because we took the 3-hour boat ride out to the Ekki Glacier because it's a very
super cool
active glacier with lots of calving and pieces falling off. And so we'll talk about that in a minute, but let me just show you. Unfortunately, like the views are not where we stayed the same distance. So I don't have a lot of, I have a lot of the same looking video. So I ended up just selecting a few pieces to ride out there, which was really cool. We saw a waterfall and then we saw the glacier. So this part here is Ekki Glacier.
Yes.
Just about 3 hours from Ilulissat. That was day 2 spent out, and I feel like I realized I didn't like capture any footage of the food we had, by the way, while we were there, while we ate.
No, yeah.
We ate a lot of seafood. I feel like, and I had like my 10th serving of snow crab.
So much snow crab. Yeah, and actually, and I remember that we didn't talk about the restaurant we went to in Nook.
Yeah, and
which
that
was
was
amazing,
like
and that's where we had this like massive seafood dinner.
Yeah, so lots of seafood.
Yes.
Except for, of course, we showed the time where we ate the seafood in Nuuk, but otherwise. But anyway, that was a great day. We came back, and I remember having a nice dinner because I think that's maybe when we had the snow crab. I can't remember.
Could be.
And then we the next day is when we actually got up and went on a whale watching thing.
This was the best.
And this is when, like, all the whales you see when you're not trying to see whales.
Yeah.
When you're actually trying to see whales, oh my goodness.
They're everywhere.
Absolutely everywhere. We saw so many humpback whales.
Yeah.
So I took a bunch of photos, no real great video because it's really, really hard to get from that distance. And much like, again, you're on a boat, it's moving, it's tough to like zoom in and keep it nice. But I'm going to share, while we're talking, these are some pictures that I took and some videos so you can kind of see the proximity with our iPhones, even how close we were with these whales. I think we saw like 15 different ones in a couple hours, probably.
It may have been even more, because we would see pods of 2 and 3 at a time. Sometimes you'd see a single one, but actually, I think a couple times we saw them working in pairs. So you could see one was kind of rounding things up, and then another one would come in and get the fish. And the tell was the seagulls. You could always watch for the seagulls.
And they make noise.
Yeah, and they make noise.
They'd be like, oh my God. Let's go follow where the whale comes up.
Yeah, they'd like dive bomb where the whale was coming up.
So I got really good at timing to get photos when the whale would come out and kind of try to get it when I didn't get it when his mouth was open, but got some good shots of the mouth. And of course the tail's going down is much easier to time because you can tell when that's going to happen. So many whales. So if you like to see whales, this is your paradise. I tell people say like, how was the trip? And I said, any day when you go to bed and you think to yourself, I feel like I saw too many whales today. That's a pretty good day.
Couldn't have taken one more whale.
That's a pretty good day. Yeah. We saw so many whales, and just that whole town is just the proximity of the water where you can hike. We even saw whales from the land when we were hiking.
Yeah, we did. And actually from the bay, too, I saw whales. I think what I really loved was just when we were at the hotel and we were up on this rooftop terrace. And one of the things that I really loved about Ilulissat was just the bay itself, because it was different every single day. You had a different view every day just because of the ice field. And one day we had these 2 gigantic icebergs, and then the next day one of the icebergs had fallen apart overnight, and then the whole bay was full of ice, and so it was super cool. Yeah.
And I do have to say, we had planned to go and see the Knud Rasmussen, that's how you say his name, right?
Knud Rasmussen, yes.
House, because he was born there. And if you remember, we did a video when we went to his house up north near Hundestol. Yeah. And that's where he was born, actually, in Greenland there. And there's a picture. I took a picture with my phone of his house from the outside.
Technically, we did see it.
We saw it. But the day, I didn't realize museums would be closed on Monday, and that's the day that I had planned to go, and it wasn't open. And so I didn't get to go inside. But we saw it, just not the inside of it.
It just means we have to go back.
Yeah, I have no problem going back. Not at all, because that was such an amazing place. It was so gorgeous. That is the creme de la creme of like icebergs and whales and just like getting out on the water. Every day we were like in a boat. I mean, I never get on the water. I get seasick. Yeah. But I didn't actually.
You did great.
The water was relatively calm. I took medicine, but I was not really having any problem at all. So I would highly recommend it. It was so gorgeous. So that was our second video from our trip to Greenland. So next time, I don't know if it'll be in 2 weeks, whenever the next Greenland video is, it'll be Ilulissat, however you say it.
Ilulissat.
Saying it, I'm sure we're both saying it wrong. But that also we're going to cover some tips around things to plan when you're planning a trip to Greenland and things to be aware of. That will be in the future, but there you go. Ilulissat.
Our new favorite place.
New favorite place. Amazing. Greenland is
it's
fantastic.
So gorgeous.
Please, if you've been to Greenland or Ilulissat, tell us what you think. Tell us if you want to go.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
There's something else we should see.
Yes, because I want to go. Maybe the East Coast. I don't know. Yeah, tell us.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there you go. That's it.
Okay.
We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.